so now it's time to make a buttery roasted chicken. It is the quintessential dinner for 2, for 4, or if you're having a dinner party or just really need some comfort food, this is my go-to chicken recipe. So we need to start with a pretty dry chicken, and most of the time when you get a packaged chicken, it'll have a little moisture on it, and it's really important to make sure that everything is dry. So I just get some paper towels and make sure I pat the whole bird dry before I even add it to the roasting pan. And I'm using a pretty deep roasting pan. You can add a rack inside, but you don't have to. This is just a really quick and easy way to kind of get it together and get it in the oven. So paper towels, make sure you get inside, under the wings, and everything. Otherwise, it'll just sort of steam and it won't brown, so you really want to make sure that everything is nice and dry. Now, there's one other thing about having really all natural chicken, and a lot of times in halal stores as well, they're getting them from the farms, and that's really awesome and wonderful. But sometimes I get a little surprise, which is a feather, and it's no big deal. It's just got to come out. So if you have kitchen tweezers or little tongs, that's all you need. But you do want to pull it out because you definitely don't want to have anybody at the dinner table doing that. So it just looks like a really big hair, but that's off. All right, now we have to stuff this bird, and I don't mean in the cavity. What I want to do is stuff the butter under the skin. That means I don't need a lot of oil when cooking, so I don't need to put a ton of olive oil or anything else on top. I'm just really gonna put that butter under the skin. And before doing that, when my hands get all buttery, I'm going to actually stuff the cavity with some fresh herbs, salt, pepper, garlic, and I've also got some rosemary and thyme here. All right, so let's start with thyme. This is not dried thyme, it's actually freshly cut thyme. And all I've done is it's clean, it's washed, and I'm gonna be pretty generous with this because I want this chicken to be very aromatic. So it's almost like putting a floral bouquet inside of the bird, and believe me, you are going to love the smell. You can do this with parsley or cilantro, but I don't think they have the earthiness that rosemary and thyme do, so I really am very traditional about making sure that I just use these 2 herbs most of the time, if not use dried herbs. So cilantro and parsley seem to be the kind that I feel like they stick to the bird too much, and these are a little woody, so you can just pull them out very easily, and that's why I like to stick to these. So I'm taking a good bunch and just sticking it in that cavity right there. Okay, now I've got fresh rosemary still growing, so I always try to have an herb box at some point in my kitchen, particularly in the spring and summer. And you can get these now at grocery stores. So I just buy, it's actually pretty inexpensive to buy growing herbs, and then you just kind of keep them alive and you've got herbs for a really long time. So what I'm doing is just, it's like medicinal, it's so lovely. Just taking a few of these now. Rosemary is really powerful, so you don't need as much as the thyme, but if you like more, do that. It's just really, really pretty, and it's gonna smell great. Now I want to do some garlic. So I've got about 3 cloves of garlic that I really want to put in there. You can do more if you like. And I don't even use a garlic press, just press down with a knife, break open the clove, and I'm gonna stick the whole thing in there. I'm really just trying to achieve flavor and aroma. So we aren't probably gonna eat into that, but we definitely want it in there. So 3 I think is good. If you have smaller cloves, add a little more, but it's really up to you. So some chunks kind of came off, and that's okay. Some people don't take the skins off when they're doing it this way, but I'd rather take it off and not have to dig around for the skin when the bird is done. Okay, so there's my 3 cloves of garlic. If you have fresh lemon, you can also do that, but sometimes that tastes a little sour at the end, so I don't always add the chicken. All right, now comes the handiwork. Now I've got about 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 big pats of butter, and I'm going to just stick this under the skin. Now, when I cook the chicken, it's going to be breast side up, and I'm not going to turn it at all during the cooking. So I'm really just gonna focus on getting this under the skin. And with your 2 fingers, right side and left, just kind of gently break open the skin, okay? Then you see there's like a little pocket. Now just stick in 2 pats on each side, okay? Now this is just gonna melt away during the cooking. And that's it. Okay, now you can add a little more if you like, or you can just drizzle the bird with olive oil, and I like to do that towards the middle to the end of the cooking process if I find that the butter, there needs to be a little bit more butter or oil. So I'd like to start with this amount and see where it goes, because every bird is a little bit different in size. So now I'm just gonna wash my hands really quick. Now it's time to tie the bird up a little bit, because this will help it cook more evenly. And I like to use kitchen twine. This is a green kitchen twine. Most of the time you find it to be a natural color, but it comes in all colors. And I'm gonna do 2 different things. One is to push the wings underneath. Okay, some people tie them, I don't. I just kind of stick them underneath the legs. Okay, just stick those under there. And it can be a little difficult sometimes. All we want to achieve is that the bird is kind of nice and tight when cooking. So, whoops. I'm gonna take my string and push it underneath the bird and kind of bring those legs together and just tie. Now you can double wrap it around, or just make a bow, whatever you like to do. And it'll look pretty once it's out of the oven. So that's a really pretty bow. Looks like a package. So those wings are fine, just kind of tucked away as much as possible. Now I'm going to add salt and pepper. Now if you want to do some other spices or other herbs, dried herbs, that's fine too. I just like a lot of salt and pepper, and keep it really simple because I want to taste the meat and I want those fresh herbs to really come out. So I'm just going to transfer this over to the roasting pan. And that's it. And the oven is already on 350, it's been preheated. So we're gonna cook this for 45 minutes on 350 and then turn it up to 375 for another 25 minutes. At the time when I increase the temperature, I could add a little water to the pan if I feel like there needs to be a little moisture, but don't flip the bird over. So that's all you have to do. And then just get your timer out and let's set it for 25